Howdy, I'm Liquid Otacon, also Nathan. I am the project manager and lead level designer for the Duke Nukem Restoration Project.
I'm Joe, 50% Joe. I am the lead narrative designer and also one of the 2D artists for the project.
And I'm Kevin ETPC Matthews. I am the social media guy, community manager, play tester, stream co-host. I kind of see everything, and I help to make this game be seen by everyone.
Hey everybody, it's Awesome Khan from Shacknews. Thank you, all of you, for spending time with us here at Shacknews E7 and for your contribution. You know, what we've already seen, what we're going to show people. It's been awesome. I just kind of want to ask you guys, because this project, the Duke Nukem Forever Restoration Project, it's weird. I've tried to explain it to people, and it's complicated. The game, a lot of it leaked last year, right? And it was never supposed to be. This is a game that a lot of people have been thinking about for 22 years, if not longer, since 96 when Duke 3D launched. This was maybe one of the most anticipated FPS games of that millennium, right? So how long was it from when the leak occurred to when your team was like, hey, we can actually do something with this? Like, when did that happen? I'm just kind of curious.
The initial formation, the first couple people, was within days, and then the first our official start date as a team, we consider it our first anniversary, if you will, was the 19th of May. So 8 days after the leak came out. I mean, I know I was on Duke 4, which is a really big forum for Duke Nukem still. I was on the forum trying to help figure out how to get the editor working and trying to figure out how to get saves working. I think 2 or 3 days after the leak came out.
Wow, that's outstanding, because this isn't your IP, right? So you're handling something that's not necessarily yours. What kind of things did you have to do to be able to do this without getting taken down? What are those? What are some of those hurdles that you? Maybe I'm walking into the
No, I mean,
independent as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Yes. We make sure no money exchanges hands. That's the primary thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's entirely a volunteer project. Everything that we do, we give out for free, including things like we showed off some big box design that we had made up that was made partially by the community and partially internally by the dev team, and that we just gave out the PST or the PSDs for it, so you can just download it yourself and print it out if you wanted, and even the game itself is just a mod on ModDB. It's a mod for the source code that was leaked.
Okay, so yeah, I realize that being a mod is kind of this gray area in game development, right? There's cool studios that are super cool with mods, and there's studios that aren't cool with mods. Because this game was really built, what you guys are messing with right now, or what you guys have been working with, was built before IP had changed hands. Are the current owners of Duke Nukem communicating at all with you guys about this?
Not really.
Okay.
I actually one time ran into one in a Discord, and I threw a smoke bomb on my feet before I could get any further.
Be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We
I
tried
wish
to
I
be
had a
very
better
respectful. Yeah, we would try to be very
For sure.
respectful, and just we understand that we're the hobbits hiding from the ring race, basically, and at any moment it can go bad, and we're okay with that, because the fact that we can even do this, the fact that we can even get parts of it out there, and if this becomes a relay race where we fall down, some other team picks up, that's okay with us. That's totally fine with us.
Yeah, because there's no profit motive here, and like you said, this is all volunteer work. So, thank you.
It's for the love of the craft, yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, thank you guys. From a fan of Duke Nukem, thank you for the work you're doing. I think it's been awesome to see the progress in the last year. Just kind of curious, from a level standpoint and from a narrative standpoint, what are some things that you guys saw that you're like, oh man, this is awesome? What were some of those moments early on, or even in the last year, where you guys were just like, oh man, this is cool?
The atmosphere for me, the atmosphere of DM 2001. So I mentioned, I was talking about this the other day. DM 2011 has a genuine issue with, keeping up a kind of a flow, a motion to move the player forward that feels real. DF 2001 nails it in like the second map when you come out onto the balcony and the rain is spattering everywhere. There's fires in the distance. There's a car jam on the bottom. There's the air raid siren going off. It is palpable, the action horror vibe they were going for. And I remember on May 10th playing that and just literally almost coming to tears, being like, "Oh my god, they had it! They absolutely had it."
I get what you're saying about the atmosphere too, because that infamous E3 trailer where they showed just destructible environments, the scope of the game being so much bigger than 3D. Yeah, I think those are some of those holy crap moments. You guys have dropped some amazing trailers. I don't know who's working on your trailers over there, but they've been outstanding. They've gotten me super hyped. At what point were you guys like, "Oh crap, we need a voice actor for Duke"? Because I know we have an interview
right
with
away.
the voice actor for Duke. So like that was, and you didn't go with John St. John. Was he too expensive? Did he want money? Or?
That's part of the being fair and keeping this legal and independent and profit free. Is we would also be in a space where it wouldn't be okay for John St. John to work with us, and he's a professional talent that we couldn't actually treat and pay professionally.
Sure.
And
that's not to say we didn't reach out to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
But he's got to get paid. He's a very talented voice actor.
To be honest with you, that's not even something that he really brought up. It was just more of the concern of the, this is not official. You know what I mean? He didn't want to, damage any possible like goodwill or anything like that he had with Gearbox or anything.
Well, the guy you got is outstanding, so it's not.
Oh
like
yeah,
Gianni's
Gianni's amazing.
Gianni's a chef's kiss.
Yeah, he's so good. And he's been doing it on social for a while too, just for fun. And I think it's awesome. It's just another example of how like this is really a community coming together to do something. It almost like it's trying to like make good with the bad karma that had surrounded this project. Like I think volunteering your services and like this collaborative effort and like no one just even talking to you folks, like I feel like I'm talking to like 5 different people when I'm either DMing you on Twitter or emailing with you folks. Like it's a very cohesive effort. I think it's awesome to see this community, which like Duke fans have been beaten down for a while. Like it's been nice to like have something as a community to like look forward to, and I think you guys have done a great job with that.
Definitely appreciate that. And I mean, to be honest, the community is like a buzz itself too. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Like as much as we enjoy like shouldering some of that, there's definitely a lot of other stuff going on within our community. Like there's a number of 2001 projects or 2011 projects that are also trying to, because now the modification tools the community has actually unlocked and been able to access that, and so now the community is working on 2011 and trying to improve that game too. And like there's another project that's similar to ours, the director's cut, that's working on 2001 as well. So it's just like, and there's even like people just making community maps, like just little fun one-off single player maps to play through and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, for such a community that has been starved of legitimate content, we're all eating like really good right now as far as community content goes.
I am super excited for all the different takes on Forever, because it's not that we're getting to like correct history, so as we're getting to see just a shotgun of different timelines, and all of them look pretty kick-ass right now.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. No, it's like you guys are archaeologists. You uncovered a blueprint, and then you're all just like, okay, what do I got? I can do this with it.
Exactly.
I always liken this to an art restoration project. Is why I'm so into it.
Well, video games are art. I'll die on that hill.
Absolutely.
But, no, and I think that Duke has always had this vibe. Like, I think Kevin mentioned it earlier. Like, there is this feeling. Like, I think good video games, when you go to them, you feel like you're in a place. You feel like you're in that world with Duke, and I think you guys are doing an amazing job of recreating that. The thing that I was excited to see in it was one of your recent trailers, is that there's this like, you guys didn't forget Duke matches. You're like,
Nope.
we're gonna do something with Duke matches too.
Yeah, we spent the last 4 months working on multiplayer. Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about what you guys are doing there? How much was already there? How much are these things that you kind of wanted?
So it's a little bit of a mixture of things. So like a lot of the other things with this project, the bare bones were there, right? So some of the maps were already there, but they were, well, very basic. Like we like overhauled a ton of stuff for the multiplayer. So to the point where it's like visibility on weapons. So like all weapons now spin and glow like they would in a commercial multiplayer release at the time.
Mhm.
And then we also touched up every single one of the maps that was in the leak for Deathmatch. And so all of them have had facelifts. All of them have had their like bugs worked out. Through, like I said, we spent a good like 4 months doing nothing but working on multiplayer. And then we also took some maps from the community. We had a contest internally to see, if anybody could come up with a really good multiplayer map. We ended up accepting one of those. It's an abandoned EDF base during the winter. It was the nuclear winter mapping contest, so it was fitting.
I really like that one.
Yeah, it's
really good.
it's a really fun map, yeah. And so like we made sure we included that. We had like other submissions for community made maps, and then we also made a couple of maps internally that we added ourselves to the multiplayer, which were either based off of places that already existed in the leak, or in a few cases maps that we maps that we made by hand. There was also one map with another one coming later on in a multiplayer pack later that was made by Keith Schuler, who was somebody who was like part of Duke Nukem Forever from day one, basically till the doors closed. It was the first map he had made in Unreal as they were getting adjusted to working in Unreal for Duke Nukem Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a nice little chat with him and stuff like that, and got his okay to bring the map over and work on it and that kind of stuff too. So and then as far as like the systems go, again, like there was like a team deathmatch, which is kind of like the original Star Wars Battlefront games, where it's like there's different classes that you choose from to fight in the team deathmatch. That's still like a work in progress, but it's a far cry from where it was a year ago. It's actually functioning now. You can actually run around as a dog or run around as an octobrain and do these neat little team battles like that. But yeah, so a lot of it is
costumes for those too.
Oh yeah. That was another thing. Like as far as creative efforts go, Joe did a fantastic job. He made some, I don't know, like 50 to 60 something Duke costumes.
Oh my god!
I had fun making every single one of them. My favorite is still High Roller Duke.
It's so good.
That's outstanding. Oh, I mean, of course, you need a High Roller Duke in a game that takes place in Vegas.
Internally, there's just been this want to put Duke in a tuxedo, and I kept thinking like, I don't want to take the bandoliers off. The bandoliers, they're part of Duke. Duke wouldn't part with the bandoliers. So I was like, I can make the tie work with the bandoliers, tie and bandoliers together. He wouldn't separate from it.
Innovator and a fashion designer at the same time. That's awesome. I had a question about the story, because I think the thing that a lot of people, reviewers or maybe not Duke fans, just gamers, complained about some of the narrative in 2011, how it was like,
that's a
brash,
pretty understandable complaint.
And it was gross. There were some gross things in that.
Yes.
Just kind of disgusting and unnecessary and almost shock value stuff. Because you guys are getting to do this now, are you able to edit out stuff like that, or is part of your vision to make this as close to what it was supposed to be, the original intent of the developers? Like, I guess that's the question, is like, what are you guys doing on that front?
We got a fair amount of story with the leak. I wouldn't say like a ton of it. We've got some work in progress dialogue. We have some story beats. We have the interview and how it was supposed to play out. But much in the discussion we had earlier about how 2011 is very much the same parts assembled wrong, we're also getting some of these parts in their earliest iterations, and sometimes they're not recognizable. And we're trying to take this as an opportunity to polish it up into this gritty, serious action horror thriller as best we can to really kind of hook people with it and make it kind of engage them more than 2011 did.
Awesome. No, it sounds like kind of this balance of that old school feeling of old school FPS from the 90s, you know, where I think Wolfenstein was great at that. Like, you open a damn door and there's someone right behind it. Like, those, not necessarily jump scares, but just a pixelated game can still scare the crap out of you with the proper timing.
Yeah.
And no, I'm excited to hear that this is going to take more of a horror tilt, because it did seem they went very Jerry Bruckheimer action movie within 2011.
There is a very there's a John Carpenter influence that you can't help but just feel the whole time you look through the game and you look through the assets, and you're like, this was going to be something. This had that 1998 alien invasion, like action horror vibe. Mm-hmm. They wanted their version of the Thing, the xenomorph, some kind of creature that truly made your skin crawl.
Yeah.
You can't trust anyone after all. And like with regards to your point of, like, you know, the more lascivious content, like, we're still going to be like a little seedy with the game, but we are actively, you know, not going to be like gross about it, because we do want to make a Duke Nukem game not just for ourselves, not just for our fans, but for people who may have not cared about Duke Nukem and may just want to do it. It's like, oh, I'll give them a chance. Like, you know, like, let's be honest here. There were some issues with the past Duke Nukem games in that regard, and we do want to try to address those in a way that makes everyone happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanna say we're kind of taking a very Paul Verhoeven angle about the mature tone. It's definitely gonna be that skeevy strip club, a little bit, you know, picking up chicks, Duke Nukem you remember, but it's just as rewatchable and kick-ass as RoboCop.
Awesome. Are you guys going to introduce some new catchphrases? And if so, can I pitch you one?
It has to be 2003 appropriate.
Yep, okay. That's our cutoff date for references.
Okay, you want to hear it?
We're trying.
I'm tired of your static. It's time to change your channel.
That's not bad.
I actually don't hate that for one.
I don't hate that at all.
I kind of like it.
I mean, technically there is a big boss
I was not charged
to
create that. I didn't charge to create that. That's free. You guys can have it. But yeah,
this is the community coming together.
That's all I'm saying. It's just...
Luckily for you, we can match that price.
$3.99. Yeah. Awesome. I'm glad that you guys don't hate it. It's something that it's been in my head since 1996. It was just like, we would just talk like Duke, you know, like it was just something we did in the mid 90s. Like,
it's so fun to talk like Duke. It's so really fun.
Is. I mean, it's a big collaborative effort. I'm sure Kevin and Nathan are tired of how many times I say teamwork makes the dream work behind the scenes.
I mean, if it's not what we do every day, though, you know.
Yeah, no, that's what's neat about this. This is truly a passion project. This is truly like a community effort. It's awesome to see a bunch of talented people from the video game industry come together for this. Like, it's not like you guys weren't just like, you know, working at McDonald's and decided to do this. Like, you guys are very talented developers, and you're able to like dig into an existing source code and kind of refab it, like rehabilitate it.
I mean, definitely appreciate that, but I think you'll find that there are plenty of us that are just people who work at supermarkets, and I'm just an IT guy. I've done IT.
I kind of wandered in.
Yeah,
I'm a student.
There are a couple people who work within the game industry and stuff like that, that work with us. But I mean, a lot of us are just like dedicated modders and people who have been, you know, interested in this kind of thing. But the majority of us are enthusiasts and hobbyists and stuff.
Well,
like
that's good to hear, because then you're probably making money elsewhere. You don't have to worry about the financial impact of this thing.
No, I may do this all day for a living, but it's not actually what I do for a living. No.
Awesome. No, that's
great on the company time.
No.
Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you want your fans or people who don't know about the project to know today?
Ultimately, we just want them to know that Duty Nukem Forever 2001 Restoration Project is going to be an action horror game with light comedy seasoning. That is ultimately what we go for, and that is our goal, and we're on the way to achieving it. I mean, we're just getting started.
Awesome. No, I really appreciate the effort. I appreciate all of your time, and I know everything has been kind of crazy for E7, so things have kind of come together at the last second, so we appreciate you taking your time out today. I think our segment may be a little bit longer than we originally planned. I don't care, because this is awesome. Shacknews and Duke Nukem have kind of been attached at the hip since the beginning of time. Our site was founded in 96. Duke released in 96, so we share a birthday, or sorry, not Duke, 3D. Duke 3D shipped in 96. So we share a birthday. And on Shacknews, if you have to message the moderator team, you message Duke space nuked. So it's literally in our website's DNA. So we felt like this was the most appropriate way to kind of cap off E7. So we really appreciate your efforts. We appreciate the time you've given us. And we're going to be rooting on this project until you guys deem it done, which I don't know when that is. I don't care when that is. Just keep doing what you guys are doing. Take your time. We are kind of talking about that earlier with game development. When there's no profit motive, there's not some deadline that you have to hit, so I think it's going to be awesome to just see you guys take your time and do something that you love to do. And I just think it's cool to see that in the video game industry right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us. It feels like coming home.
Still feels a little bit surreal to be doing all this.
It really does.
Hail to the king, baby.